Heart coherence. I'm going to talk a little bit about heart coherence. I'm going in that lake in a minute. I'm quite looking forward to it. Looks a bit dark today, but I am looking forward to it. So most of our hearts are in an incoherent state. So our heart rates are kind of jagged and sharp and spiky because, you know, we're stressed, we're run down, we're tired, we're fatigued. We're just, you know, busy chasing. We're a lot in our sympathetic nervous system, so we're just chasing our tails, trying to keep up with life. So most of our hearts are kind of in this incoherent state, which most of us live in our head. So we're thinking, we're analysing, we're confused, we're exhausted, we're drained because we're stuck it up in our head. Everything's a little bit harder over time to make decisions, to get clear answers, you know, and you're just trying to, oh, should I, shouldn't I, you know, it's pros and cons and fucking all these mind maps and all that shit. Like, you know, it gets harder and harder to make fucking decisions because you're up in your head. But with this like little technique, and it's in the calendar for Monday evenings, I think 8 o'clock. It's just going to be a short exercise, but it works on a personal level and it works on a global level, and that's the pure fucking magic of it, because it's the most simplest technique you can do. You could do it literally right now while you're listening to me, if you're grateful for the words that you're hearing anyway. You can drop into your heart, slow down your breathing, focus around the chest, around the heart as you're breathing nice and slowly. Comfortable, slow, steady pace, accessible to you. And just bring a sense of gratitude or love or appreciation, compassion, joy. Could be a previous experience, it could be a person, or an animal that's in your life that you just absolutely love. It could just be gratitude for the words that I'm saying. I don't know, whatever it is, but that's how simple the technique is. You could do that for the rest of the video while you listen to me talking. But what this does is it brings the heart into a coherent state, and it gets the brain listening to the heart. So this has been scientifically known since the 1800s. Scientifically known since the 1800s that the heart feeds the brain information, and then the brain feeds into the body. Why this isn't taught in schools? Well, I do know why it's not taught in schools, but like, it's just like the missing link of fucking existence, which of course is not educated to us, because it will bring far too much unity and togetherness, not just humanity but nature as well, which is scientific studies have shown as well. But when we do that, the heart goes into a softer sine wave, so it's a more coherent state. We clear up our mental activity, we have greater mental capacity, it boosts our immune system, or it improves our immunity. Everything, like the heart is like the conductor of an orchestra. Okay, so it leads the show. If the heart's out of balance, everything else in the body is going to be out of sync. When they bring the heart into a coherent state, everything else falls into sync around it. And with just a 3-minute practice of this heart-mind coherence, you get a 6-hour boost of this coherent state. Yeah, just 3 minutes practice, you get a 6-hour boost. And you can do it anytime, anywhere. You can be walking down the road and just be grateful for life. Like, and you can just fucking do it. It's amazing. I love it. And it's all scientifically backed. It's not just woo-woo weirdo shit. It's all scientifically backed. And this has been known for millennia by the ancients, which is what I love about the philosophy, and I love studying the philosophy, and I love backing it up with science when science catches up, because science is always catching up and just proving what the ancients knew millennia ago, which I absolutely love. So that happens on a personal level. So not only does it sorts your heart out, sorts your head out, sorts the entire body out, regulates your nervous system, regulates your cognitive function, regulates your immunity, and all of the good stuff in your own body. But this also carries out into the global thing. So they've been studying people around the world that have been doing practices, whether they do practices together or whether they do practices individually. People's coherent states, anybody that's practicing that, so if, say, I was practicing it at 10 o'clock in the morning, you were practicing it at, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then our coherent states would actually link into one another's coherent states, okay, even if we're on the other side of the planet. Okay, this has been studied and tested and proven, and what they're saying is that the When we get into a coherent state, when our heart's in a coherent state, it drops to 0.1 hertz. Okay, and then that is exactly the same frequency as the Earth's electromagnetic field, 0.1 hertz. So our electromagnetic field from our heart, boom, big electromagnetic field, falls in sync with the Earth's electromagnetic field when it's in a coherent state. And when, so you've got two tuning forks, when they're on the same frequency, you ding one here, the one over here starts to chime because it's on the same frequency. So the frequency acts as a carrier wave, so you get the frequency. It's exactly what happens. So each of our hearts starts to resonate at this coherent state, connects to the Earth's electromagnetic field and carries that coherent state through and connects to anybody else whose heart is in a coherent state. So we're connecting people around the globe via the Earth's electromagnetic field, just from our hearts, and doing this little technique. 3 minutes gives you 6 hours. Boost it up. I mean, I think that's pretty fucking special, and that's what I'm introducing on a Monday evening. What they've also studied trees. So they had 5 trees in one garden, all roughly the same age, about 30 years old, and they linked them all up to ECGs and stuff like that. They sat around a tree, and then they meditated and sent the tree love and appreciation and gratitude and all the higher frequency states and emotions and stuff like that. And they noticed that the tree's electromagnetic field went into a coherent state. So what they did after that was then they sent the picture to colleagues around the world or volunteers around the world, and they sent the picture to these people, the picture of that very tree still linked up to the ECGs, and they monitored the electro fields of the trees. And then people around the world, just random people around the world, focused on the tree, sent it love, sent it appreciation, sent it gratitude, focused with their heart coherent state, meditated on their heart and their breath, and the same thing happened to that exact same tree. The coherent wave come into play. So again, more evidence that it's not just us. We're in a symbiotic relationship with this, all of this stuff around us. We all interact, and we all overlap and interlace on an energetic level, and that's all we are. We're all energy. We're nothing more, nothing less. Whatever you think you are, how low or how high you think you are, we are all exactly the same. We're just a frequency state, and we are connected to this whole global system, and that is a beautiful thing. So never, ever forget your influence and your power that you hold just here in your heart, and that radiates out. And the good thing, again, another good thing, I mean, there's loads about this, I could talk about it for fucking hours, but one more thing is that when, so like, you know, you're around people, you know, people that just lift you up and make you feel fucking fantastic, and then you get other people that kind of pull you down a little bit. The less coherent your heart state is, the more likely you're either going to be one of those people that pulls people down, or one of those people that gets pulled down easily. When you build your heart coherent state, you create in essence a force field, a barrier, a protection around you, not to keep other people out, but you have a stronger energy which then affects other people's, and then what that energy does is it lifts other people's frequencies. So if you're the only one doing a heart coherent practice in your house, but you spend a lot of time with your family, then your family will start to naturally feed off your field and raise their energy and their frequency. That's the power of this stuff, and it's all been scientifically documented, studied time and time again by multiple people. Heart Math Institute is where I'm getting this information from specifically, and they've been doing it for decades. But I think it's a really powerful practice, and I want to introduce it to as many people as I can, and I will be leading a meditation Monday evenings, 8 p.m. Meditation's probably only going to be 15 minutes. It's booked in for a half-hour slot. It's only going to be like 10-15 minutes. Option to just cut off and switch off after that. If you want to just have a 5-10 minute chat after that, you're welcome to. But yeah, I think it's worth getting involved, worth just practicing it, especially if you're feeling like shit. If you're feeling like shit, what's as I said, you know, nothing changes if nothing changes. What have you got to lose? Give this stuff a go, because it's real. It's real, and I love it. Anyway, peace out, guys. Thank you very much. Speak soon.